Okay, everybody. Today is Friday, the 21st of February. It's 2020. We're looking at our different maps to kind of put together some information to help us get from what Alfred Wegener said about the continents moving to instead looking at what the modern idea is. And so we're going to start by looking at the volcanology map. So volcanologists today, we're going to be looking at volcanoes. They're looking for what do those dots mean, where are the most volcanoes, and then they're looking for some patterns like clusters and lines. I'm going to point out some of this to you right now. Okay, so on this map, you'll notice that up in the edges around, starting at around Alaska and coming down as you go through North America, down into South America, there's a lot of volcanoes here, right, in clusters. All the dots that you see, and there's more clusters over here, all these dots that are red are just representing volcanoes that have happened in the last 100 or so years, or actually longer than that, isn't it? Historically active volcanoes. There's a little bit of information missing from this map, and that's volcanoes that are happening like at the bottom of the ocean. Most of the volcanoes you see here are happening above sea level, okay? So let's kind of get in a little bit closer here. Up here in North America, you can see there's a nice line right here along Alaska, like right in an edge, kind of showing that there's a bunch of volcanic activity all in a line here. Similarly, along the edges of these coasts, and then down in Central America, and then a couple of big spots down in South America, okay? So that's what's going on the west side. If you come way over here, you can see there's some action in the middle of the ocean. This is tied into some stuff that's going to happen farther to the left, which is the same as way over here on the right. So this line here that you can trace through Indonesia is going to kind of follow down here and then go into that corner and then turn back. That section is the section that's missing from this side because it's over here on this side. Okay? So anyway, volcanoes happen, it looks like mostly near coasts. Okay, a lot of coastal action here. Big, thick line of volcanoes happening in this area. Okay, this is the eastern side of the Asian continent, and then down here we've got Indonesia in between Asia and Australia. There's one really interesting place where we've got volcanoes happening in a thick band that are like not right on a coast, but instead are kind of in the middle of a landmass. That one there in Africa we're going to look at. Then we've got a couple of other interesting places to look at. There's a bunch of volcanoes up here forming Iceland. There's some volcanoes through this middle section here, and then there's another cluster of them down here forming a island chain called the South Sandwich Islands. Other famous volcanic areas here, that's Hawaii. That's a place we're going to keep note of because it's a special case. So that's the volcanoes from today's lab, and we're going to move on to earthquakes next.